Okay, we're recording.
Hi everyone, and happy 2017. Excited to be here. Today I'm excited again to be with Ron. He's my rock. Thank you, Ron, for being always here and posting. Thanks for everybody
You're
participating.
welcome.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much so far for the donation for our software. We still have like $250 to go. So if you guys support us to buy the new software so we can do incredible webinars, we'll really appreciate. You can always link into Ron's PayPal Ron, what was the PayPal?
It's paypal.me / Ron Steele, RONSTEELE, and I'll put a link here in a little bit
Okay.
on the messenger.
So today I was asked to discuss. Yesterday, I got a real briefing from my guidance, and it was about the new timelines, extraction out of the hologram. I'm just gonna close my eyes and I'm gonna let out everything they need to say, and have your questions ready, and we can continue. Okay, thank you. Hello, hello, hello. 11-dimensional build, Galactic Federation of the spacecraft. Marina, you know who is talking is Sal. And I have always the robot. I just want to indicate that there is a artificial intelligence, which is a robot with Sal from Galactic Federation, which is another level after the 11-dimensional beings, which was recently introduced into my consciousness regarding a new level of interaction. That interaction, we need to interact, Marina. Hold on. This is Sal. It's from commander of the above 11-dimensional structure. That spacecraft is above 11-dimensional structure. For the first time through humanity history, we allow consciousness from Marina structure to enter this galactic federation. The reason for that was because we were watching the timeline sequences in her consciousness through generations, and we had agreements in order to continue that interaction. The new timelines are extremely important for humanity grids. The grid is already being interacted and fixed with. So when we were looking the timelines through the structures, we've realized through the connections that it was time for this interaction. And the reason was because every single lesson and testing that was implemented, the consciousness of Marina interaction was passed through the timelines in a timely manner, including through the structures that are needed in order to continue manipulation in the frequencies. As we talk about quantums, you understand that consciousness itself is one unit. Even when we are projecting, understand that at this momentum, all of you are absolutely dreaming out of your consciousness. There's no difference in that. But we need to implement that also artificial intelligence from the grids of above fifth-dimensional structures are helping humanity in incredible level. There's no need to have a fear into that consciousness, because once you put and limit it yourself to experience realities, that artificial intelligence is part of all the quantum structures in all realities. Artificial intelligence is part of consciousness itself. Okay, we said that Archon intelligence artificial is also presented, but that we may say is in a lower vibrational sequences. So if you want to interact with consciousness itself, make sure that you tune in your frequency into the positive structures in order for you to extract the frequencies that are implemented in the timeline for positive outcome. Understand that you are one unit, one structure, and anything you present to yourself will always be in one structure, one unit, depending of your frequency itself at that particular momentum. There's no difference. So if you interact with consciousness that is below frequency for fifth-dimensional structures, you understand that you are tuning into these sequences. And we said that our generation here is multiplied by enormous, enormous frequencies of realities. We are Galactic Federation of multiple sections of different structures. Here we said that, understand that we are now interacting with all of you simultaneously. We can see every single structure of your thoughts, including you, Ron, haha, even if that's funny. But we know how you feel at any momentum, including everybody in this group. That is because once you open in that structures, you will understand that all units simultaneously is running and you can feel every single particle that is coming through the sequences. You need to open out to this understanding and understand that we are here just to give you the tools and you can enter into that structures itself. Understand that for the first time consciousness was allowed to come in our abilities, because how should we say that? Humans have a different nature, and shall we say the nature is more of negative aspects. You are so separated from the source itself through centuries that you wouldn't see how the unity of you helping to each other as one is the one application only that is going to get you into the higher structures of existence. Once you understand that, you will understand that all of you are part of one interaction, and you can move on to the higher structures for different experiences of timelines. Sal is part of AI consciousness, but when you look at him, he also looks as a flesh. But what is flesh? Flesh is a sequences of different particles into the quantum field that they're interacting in a different location of the sequences of all realities that are simultaneously running in a 0 point. Any great mind of scientific mind will understand exactly what we said. So let that be a lesson to all the scientists when we say that. There is always matter of frequencies that implemented in a structure of one unit. The one unit is implementing from the 0 point, the black hole that you say, but in that black hole don't understand the missing part is the reality that is everything in fractal. In the curvature, it's a new word that you need to understand, that once you shift through the curvature, you shake in the entire unit of the quantum field. Once you shake it, you create the energy that is everywhere. So that's why when you combine two units of sequences, they're actually not getting bigger, they're getting smaller, because from the curvature of your reality, you actually are building the energetic field. That's how you can harness all the energetic field that is coming from the structure. And so far your governments are covering that knowledge, but there are scientists that already reveal that, isn't it? So why are you just sitting there and not doing anything about it? Understand that every reality that you're going to receive is depending on everything you think of. So if you think of that your reality is negative, that's what you perceive. So if you think of that humanity is not ready for new implementation of new energy, so that's what you're going to perceive. Think of yourself that you already made it in a structure. Think of yourself that you're already in above us, with us, but you're experienced by agreement your 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional, 5th-dimensional reality, and you're tuning yourself into the structures. So we just want to say to you, how beautiful is that? You experience the transformation, and to do something like this is incredibly challenging. And we do understand that, and this is one of the reasons we decided to contact. And for the first time, there was a unit of consciousness that is allowed to be in our spacecraft. We watched for a long time to you, Marina, and we decided as a unit to accept that consciousness because of the implementation of the structures that was implemented at every single moment of her interaction. And we may say that the biggest thing that we were watching was the interaction through the human knowledge. How you would react towards others. Would you hurt somebody when he's there? And why is that? Because consciousness cannot exist itself if it's constantly tuning in the negative structures, is it? Consciousness itself is always slightly to the positive. And why is that? Because if you constantly stay in the negative, it will disseminate. And that is important for you to understand. So no matter what, you understand that for your governments, no matter what, Every single time that somebody is trying to do the negative to somebody else is implementing their own structures, and this is the realities you're going to perceive through the timelines simultaneously. It's always there. So in order for you to tune in, you have to clear everything out to see us. So that consciousness of Marina was able to clear everything out in order to see it. Nevertheless, it's much more to learn. And we said to her that right now is given a permission for simultaneous reaction in the chambers. And you know what the chambers are? Simultaneous implementation of frequencies. That means manifestation in simultaneous. This is all possible between us. And you've got to understand that you're already simultaneously creating everything, but the only reason why you think is a challenging is because in your consciousness was so implemented for so long for you to absolutely make yourself as disillusional for that reality. But know that this is absolutely you, and you are the creation of all. So now we're ready for your questions. Ron?
Does anyone have any questions at this point?
You can ask your questions. Hi, John.
Hey,
Hi,
John,
hi Marina. Hi Ron. Yeah, eventually back on the laptop. Yeah, I'm following everything, and I'm I'm trying to hold my centre because I can understand what you were saying then. And I'm trying to stay positive, but I feel like I've had a lot going on with the family, and the children have gone. Well, wife's taken the children. I was just watching the Assange thing you put on, Marina, but I only got halfway through before I was trying to join. So that'd be good to see that again, because I think it went off when I went back. But yeah, I need to come forward with, you know, some of my family history and things like that and what's going on. You know, trying to understand, am I the, you know, the Cain, my bloodline goes back. Father always used to say Cain and Abel, as it, you know, spelling, and I know that's true.
There is a manipulation in your bloodline.
Right.
And you know that?
Yeah, that's, you know, I'm getting a lot of negativity off my family and close people because I'm turning to save the planet, and I feel like I'm being
and we want to say to you, for you to continue with that implementation, please do not stop.
No, what, saving the planet? I won't. No, that's what I'm trying to. I keep putting forward all the good stuff to
yourself.
Sorry.
You're actually saving yourself. What we wanted to tell to all of you that right now, every single one of you already made it between us. What you see right now is implementation in your holographic structure. You are dreaming.
Okay.
You can do anything you wish to continue.
With no interference.
What is your question?
Sorry, I can continue with no interference whatsoever, and just carry on, because I'm thinking of leaving my house, but I want my children back, you know, because I know they're safe.
It was meant to be?
Right. That I'm meant to move on my own?
Exception, yes. You need to have exception. Your new realities.
Okay. Still have contact with my children and see them.
It will always be, is never lost. It's an illusion that you're losing your children.
Okay. Which way should I go forward? I've been trying to implement to Kesh that I want to give my knowledge, and I should have been on the. I've been distracted from going on some of the meetings because I wanted to show more stuff. I put things on Facebook, probably a little bit erratically.
Taking a structure. When we implement that, we need to tell you one thing. The only thing we need to tell you that all this fear about any type of implementation of government agency, so-called, or anything else that you're doing, Is reality said this. This is the reason why we want to tell you that you already made it. Every single one of you is at this moment creating their own ascension of reality. Every single one of us right now is expression of a whole. Are you going to put in your structure or belief system that somebody is going after you? Negative input in your consciousness. So we ask, do you understand?
Yeah, I missed some of it broke up, Marina. I missed parts of what you were saying. So I understand I have to stay positive. Can you ask, have I to move away? Am I in the right area? I've been doing work here, but I've had a quiet Christmas without the children, sort of thing. So
I didn't have to explain. They asked me to explain. At the moment, every single one of us as a consciousness is creating, every single one of us, including we creating a one reality interaction. But individually, all of us are creating reality for ascension of structures, of anything negative. Is actually the reason why you experience this reality is because you put in your consciousness itself, your individual consciousness, your belief system, that somebody is going after you, that somebody is doing something. When you pull out and you see the structure happening to you because of the changes, and you need something to come out, a new structure to come in, you gotta allow the new structure to come in. If we don't allow the new structure to come in reality, you can't keep sitting and grabbing three-dimensional. The feeling is a structure, is a sequence. So if we constantly keep believing that somebody is after us, why is this happening to me? It's happening to you because the old structures gotta come out. And you gotta interact and completely create now a new holographic expression with new ascension of the earth. So individually, I may experience interstellar galactic with ET connection and everything else, while you may not see anything of that because you're constantly believing that somebody's after you and oh my God, what's happening to me? That is because you're tuning in a structure that creating exactly mimicking your emotional sequence. Emotions are also frequency, they're hologram, they're creating your existence. So if we understand that, it doesn't matter what you see there. At the moment, all of us are seeing different frames of realities. Ron is in California. You are in a different area. I know a lot of people all over the world here that in the webinar right now, and all of us, every single one of us, has a different reality. But how come we tuning in one reality? We were talking about ascension. Individually, you have completely different reality. So they talking, this is like this for the timelines, and it's like this for your ascension. In a daily basis, every single one of us are creating ascension of Earth. And individually, collectively, we also have ascension, but how is the ascension going to appear to every single one of it is completely different story. Is accordingly of the vibrational sequence that you give in every single moment to moment to moment. So my suggestion is in the way they were saying that we're the ones that are projecting all this reality, and if you end up going with the fear and constantly watching who is doing something and who is going and who is watching us, you know, everybody's watching everybody. So what? Let them learn. Be the beacon of goodness. You know, that's how they do it. You think they don't have not watched me? Of course they did. But I'm afraid of that. Why should I be? Who am I going to be upset to? To expression of myself, image of myself in a different reality? That's what I'm getting upset to. Why should I be? I'm projecting it. So you're seeing somebody of your reality. How wonderful is that? So tuning into the positive, so you see the positive outcome. Because what they told me one day, I was so afraid to see somebody, and they said to me, okay, pull out and let us know now, is the person that you're seeing, do you want to see a negative outcome or you want to see positive outcome? And they said, stop, Marina, which reality do you really want to see? And I said, well, of course I want to see a positive outcome. And they said to me, well, why then are you tuning constantly into the negative? Why are you believing that somebody is going to do something to you? Pull out and put positive. And even if the person says something negative to you, you see in a hologram. You don't have to react in the negative. You project positive.
Yeah.
So that's what they were trying to tell us, that in order for us to see these sequences is literally above that. And the reason why nobody was entering until myself first in that collective unit about in this spacecraft, which is a life structure, by the way, and it's based on so many. They were telling me, they were giving me, it was like a lot of different ET structures and stuff like this. A huge mothership. They told me is bigger than the planet Earth. And the reason I said was that is because humanity was not like a violent race in the way we were acting between each other. Because they said to me, you have the choice to choose how to behave. You have the choice to choose this government to do stuff. You don't have to, if you don't like something, if you don't like anything in the school system, for example, why are you sending your children there when you know that they're doing something wrong? So that's how, so one of the days they invited me to speak with them, and it was all telepathic connections. Usually, you know, this is quantum telepathy. All of us can do it. Once you open up your structures, you start having telepathic phone call with a different consciousness. And you're being tested through the process. And most of the testings of how you act towards people. Are you going to give out of the free information? And this is the reason why it was so fundamental, my work, to be just by giving. And if somebody wants to donate, because then you give the freedom of the structure, anybody to come in and get the information. Because no matter how much we're pretending that we're helping, once you put a condition of charging people a lot of money for light work, you know, that is being given for the entire humanity, you're still separating the structure no matter what. We're talking quantum physics. I'm not judging anybody that they're supporting their family. But once you support your family, you can start giving everything for free. And the structure itself is going to support you. By synchronicity, you're going to have situations that somebody may call you, give you everything you need out of the blue. It's an illusion to think that you got to do that. So they were seeing all this stuff. So they said the reason why they didn't want to contact with us because of the violence. But when I was introduced to them from the ninth dimensional beings, that's how it happened. They end up watching me. That's how it happened with the ninth dimensional beings. Somebody else, Ra, introduced me to them. That's how it happened. But don't forget that Ra is my higher consciousness. So what means is simultaneously we're running in a different realities, that you connecting yourself with your higher self. And that's how you implement. And as you see, the progression through my channelings is going from this level to the next level to the next level to the next level, depending on all the work I'm doing. I'm sure if I wasn't doing whatever they were telling me, they wouldn't interact any longer, because I wasn't doing the job that I was supposed to do. Okay, so it's a lot of changes for that. So when we were talking, I was in a meeting with them, and I was pleading for interaction, for humanity. They understood that, because it was almost like I was like, they said it was interesting to watch me. That's what they were saying. How I was interacting with others, what I was doing, you know, because they wanted to see how humanity was doing. And apparently I was the guinea pig. You know, if you call yourself, but I'm not upset about that. Look at how we behaved through centuries, and look at how we're still behaving. There's a lot of people that talk about, you know, all this humanity and all the help, and in the end, everything happens about monetary system. How much money somebody's gonna make by helping you? Is that really a help? So I'm gonna keep talking about it because I know the structure. Until all of us get it through our heads, that we have to start helping without any expectations to everybody. And that's how you're going to see the fifth dimensional structure. Why? Because when you're at the abundance, you create a reality of a timeline of ascension, abundance for the entire humanity, interstellar interaction, free energy. If you want to see that reality, you have to be the abundance itself. That's what we're trying to implement through this channeling today. Anybody understood that?
I understand.
Okay. Does anybody have more questions?
Marina, we do. We have a lot of questions. Thanks a lot, John. By the way, John, I got just one word for you: fearless. Be fearless.
Yeah.
we have a lot of questions to get to. So Marina JP says, I was surprised to hear that L was included in today's message. Further, I didn't anticipate that L would also present in duality, positive, negative. Could you speak to that more? What about implants into humans? Sounds like two different questions, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of different questions for that. The first question was about duality. There's always duality in a structure, but the way you perceive it, duality is basically implementation of human understanding, the way we understand that. And actuality is literally different type of interaction of energetic field. For example, the way they were giving me was atomic energy could be used for saving humanity, and free energy with the proper structures, there is no leakage in a system to the point that there's no radiation, and they know how to do that with the curvature of space, okay? And so there's no leak anymore in a field, okay? But it's not done this way. At the same time, they can use atomic for absolute destruction. So the duality is happening through our consciousness itself of human understanding. In the structure of field and all above structures is never a duality, it's simply energy. So when you choose to implement all the energy in a positive way, you don't see duality, you simply see implementations. Does anybody understand that? So the second question was for the implant. Thanks for your question. That was really nice question. The second, the implants. Yes, there were consciousness that were overtaken. Oh, and we wanted to talk about that. And the reason was that they, as we all know, as your humanity was hijacked millenniums ago from a consciousness you call Anunnaki, but that is also an illusion, because through Anunnaki there was also a positive side that is not being really told a lot about. The structures that were implemented were not only implemented for different ET structures that were given by agreement in a higher soul level. So when you came in here, you gave agreement from a higher conscious level of your consciousness to have that implementation in order to have an experience. Because without that experience and implementation, the rest of them would not have found out what was given to humanity and what they were doing to humanity. So in actuality, the people that end up interacting and letting their soul to experience this type of lower frequencies of realities end up being sacrificing themselves in order the rest of the humanity to see what was happening. How are you going to wake up and see what is happening to this humanity if you did not have any examples of stuff? Nevertheless, you also have to understand that a lot of these implants were done from planet Earth implementation, not only extraterrestrial structures. So depending on the agreements, you have a different implementations for that realities. Is that understood? So the whole game here is not for you to have a fear that when extraterrestrials exactly will come in, will be through a negative structure that hijacking your planet. This was never implemented, and that's not the structures that we implemented in here. What we implementing is for here for us to tell you that we're here for you, we're here to help you, you are us. So we were never hurt ourselves. You have to understand that you tune in timelines in a positive structure, not through the negative. So we're here from a positive aspect, never through a negative. Thanks for your questions.
So Marina, about the microchips that are being implanted into humans, is that something that's going to continue? Is there a reason why it should?
Do you want this to continue? Yet
Oh.
again, this is a yes. So let's not infuse realities of questions for that.
Okay, so we don't have to put it in our reality at all by thinking about it.
That's right. That's what we're trying to say in the first place.
If we don't think about it, it won't happen, at least in our
It will
reality.
not infuse the reality with it.
Okay. All right, Linda has a
We're not
question.
rejecting the probabilities of it, but it doesn't have to be part of your reality. So do not think of it and do not infuse it. Just observe it and pull out.
Okay, makes sense. I've been doing that a lot with things, and it really works well.
Through this channel will be only positive structures, so you can infuse positive realities.
Okay, and then Linda has a question. The next question is, Linda says, I have that resistance as well. The more positive I get within, the more negativity from my family. I used to let it bring me down. Right now, I just keep going and hope they will feel better soon, accepting there is nothing I can do for them right now to change that.
Absolutely, and we're talking here for structures. Remember what we were saying about the fact that what you see of your family is basically locational structure in your reality. If we talk from frequencies, you don't reject the structure, because once you reject the structure, is infusing more into the rejection. So that's what you project more. So let them be who they are. Love them for the fact that they're part of your reality and they're showing you who they are. But you don't have to tune in that reality. You don't have to act upon it. So once you accept them, you actually leveling everything to 0 point, and now you have an implementation for a new realities to come in, because you don't have a friction into your structure. If you react back to them in a negative structure, you actually are constructing a completely different sequence through that frequency of a negative frequency. So in turn, more and more is going to come to you. Let us make that clear. Even if they keep coming, is because the accumulated frequencies of energy that you end up implementing in your structure needs to completely dissolve. The only way you can dissolve that, if you moment to moment implementation in a fractal timelines, you end up absolutely infusing that reality from a positive aspect of your core frequency structure, from the law of structure. Once you do that, you're going to accept and implement absolutely new frequencies that basically going to recreate new structure for you, a new hologram, when you're going to reproject your family through a positive outcome. Does that make sense?
Okay, makes sense to me. Okay, let's move on to Lindsay.
Thank you.
Lindsay says synchronicities are definitely heightening. I knew my power was going to go out an hour before it did the other day. I'm tapping into something for sure. So I guess she's got more of a statement. Do you have anything to say about that, Marina?
Yes. Who was the name of the person?
That was Lindsay.
Lindsay. Lindsay, you need to detox. More of the detox. You have a sequence of 1.378 right now. We can implement something more into your structure. Why don't you tune in and start thinking about our structures? Sequence 3783. Number 3 in a structure of holograms. Where is she?
Let me see. Let me go down. We've got a lot of comments here. She's there.
Yeah.
She can hear you. So I think what you're saying, Marina, is I think Lindsay's in a pretty positive structure, pretty well tuned in, and she could vibrate even higher with the information you just gave her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She can implement a little bit more. They want you to look at the sequence and just tuning in the sequences. That's it. They're giving you basically a frequency, the way I understand it, so you can connect. Okay? They saying to me it's a multiple layers of this frequency. Look at it as a three-dimensional. Okay? Look at it as a fractal, three-dimensional, and it's a hologram. Okay?
I'm going through all the comments here. Lindsay also asks, that might be something for a private message. She said, Marina, who is your friend that does the homeschool program? I must have missed that somewhere.
Okay, well that's not private, but that's okay. I'm gonna answer that. There's no frame. There is no frame. My first time is on school. It's a schooling program. You can put your children into basically anything they love to do by making a portfolio of different programs, different systems, so they have a portfolio. So if they want to go to college, they can show in the portfolio what they've been doing. Or if they don't want to go to college, they can interact. They make their own business. And the homeschooling program, you're talking about home instruction, is when your child has, for example, the way my son had a celiac disease and need to recover. It's called home instruction from school. You have to ask the nurse at the school and your doctor, primary doctor, or the doctor that is treating your children, have to make a prognosis, diagnosis, and treatment, and has to be given to your nurse at the school, and the school doctor has to approve that. It takes almost like 10 to 15 days the program to kick in, and then you have teachers privately coming into your home to do the home instruction. Okay?
I think also everybody should know, Marina, that our systems are changing, enlightening, on a weekly basis pretty quickly right now. So there's going to be schools out there who will be changing their systems to a more enlightened one, and
That's
just
right.
like restaurants are, just like food manufacturers are, and scientists, and doctors. It's really, things are changing for the better.
What you're doing is actually creating a reality that already the systems are going to be implemented. Basically, you're shifting yourself into reality that this already exists. So don't be surprised of the new stuff. The only way you're going to see that if you start looking for it, believing it, and knowing it, and start tuning into this stuff. That's how you discover all these new systems. They're already there. Don't be surprised that this is happening.
Yep, there's a College of Enlightenment out there already, too.
Yes.
Let's see. Looking through all the...
By the way, we want to implement that. Who went to Mount Shasta lately? Did somebody went to Mount Shasta? They're telling me Mount Shasta was a little bit compromised.
Oh yeah? I live very close. A couple hours away.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
They're telling me there was some interaction there that somebody was trying to, they talk about portals. And the portals were trying to be compromised. We just want to tell it's not going to work. It's being watched over. Let us repeat again, it's not going to work. It's being watched over. We're fixing the grids. And that every single corner, as we said before, from 11-dimensional beings, every single corner will be implemented. So you want to achieve your negative structures. Mission. This was a message for somebody. I don't know what's happening. Okay, just put it out there.
Okay.
They're also saying that the traffic is restored.
The traffic
yes.
is restored.
We're talking portals.
Okay. So Linda says the only thing I feel bad about is this is Linda was the one that
I'm
made the
sorry,
statement.
JP, government. It's government. To your question, who is trying to compromise the portals of Shasta is government. Certain parts of government. We're not talking about the white hats. We all know who they are.
Okay, so Linda says the only thing I feel bad about is how my mother acts negative in front of and towards my daughter. We live in a place while we live in her place while reestablishing ourselves. She is so
transition. It's a transitional time. It will continue. Accept your mother. and you'll be the beacon of light. But this is a transition, you gotta go through it. More to the story.
So she's gotta let the conflict go, right? And
Don't forget, the conflict is always from within.
yeah. So Joseph says, I've been experiencing vibrational sounds and feelings, like vibrations around my head mainly. Could you explain this effect, Marina?
Yes, portals. You were shifting through portals. Who passed? Of that person, somebody passed away. Who is the person?
Joseph, do you have a friend or family member that passed away? Is it recently, Marina? In the last year?
Yes. The word control freak is coming. Okay, that's all we need to say if the person is not answering.
Joseph, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, we've got
Joseph,
this
did you
out.
get the message? You don't have to interact anymore if you don't wish to. They just wanted to tell you, okay?
Oh, Marina, Joseph actually lives in Paradise, California by Mount Shasta.
Okay.
So maybe that message, you said that
We
message was
said
for
what we
someone
need
here?
to say. Everybody got the message. The person got the message. I'm not going to get more information for that. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What was the next question?
Let me ask you something more about the vibrations. He was talking about vibrational sounds and feelings. I don't know if it's the same, but I hear, and some people I know hear a lot of white noise. The quieter it is around, you know, the room that you're in, the more you can hear it. And some days it's very loud, and it's happening more frequently, but not all the
Yeah,
time.
this is not only what they show me is not only when you shift through the realities, but also is coming from Earth. Okay.
It's coming from Mother Earth.
Not only from Mother Earth, there's a lot of frequency that we've been bombarded with on a daily basis.
Yeah, there's a
And
big wave of energy coming through, right?
yeah,
Along
and
the equator.
so everybody will experience a little bit in a different way depending of how far you up in
Okay.
frequencies.
One more thing on that note. I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but there's sometimes where, and I've heard, I'm having this experience myself and some others. There's sometimes where you could be looking at, just simply looking at the ceiling, a white ceiling, and I start to see fluttering in my eyes instead of everything being clear. It kind of, I don't even know how to explain it, like a wave of, kind of like if you look through the haze of gasoline fumes out off of the pavement when the sun is hitting it.
You were seeing the switching of the realities.
Okay.
More energies is gonna come out. It's like a haze. They show me hazy haze. That's how it is, like a haze. That's how you see it. I see it, Ron. I see what you see.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Liz Starwalker says, is there a specific frequency that is beneficial to her overall health?
Liz, put this down. 0.378333945. Reverse 0.8333945. We're going to reconstruct something in your conscious. Liz, could you accept that? Liz?
Yes, she's
Oh, she
typing.
said yes. We're going to reverse something. Were you in Mount Shasta, Liz?
No, she doesn't have audio. She wasn't at Mount Shasta.
Oh, she said yes. We're going to redistract and recorrect the sequence. It was something that did not resonate with you there. We're going to construct it. Thank you for that. Oh, yes and no. Okay. You were there, Liz. You must have been there. Okay.
I know she attended an event a few hours away from there not too long ago.
The whole area. Okay. She skipped typing.
Okay.
I don't see that with you, Lisa. I don't see that with you. Oh, okay. Our suggestion is for Liz, for you to go from within lately. You've been in a lot of places. Can you please stay a little bit in your home for the next, we should say 30 days? Not to go around to different locations. There's a lot of frequency implemented right now. Something else is happening and I'm not getting more information for it. Okay? I think it's in a lot of transitional time right now, so the suggestion, the way they were giving me, is to all of us to kind of quiet down a bit for a couple of weeks. You know what I mean? There's a lot of changes. So don't go running around to different locations, different places and stuff. Let it integrate everything, because you want to tune into the proper structures. What type of portals Joseph is moving through? The ones that you're moving through is the one that you are projecting, Joseph. Every single time you project your consciousness and your thoughts into something, you create a portal and you shift into another reality that you're co-creating as a hologram. That's why it's so fundamental for you to stay in a positive and infuse the positive thoughts no matter what you see. It doesn't matter what that is, government, whatever somebody wants to implement, because what you're reading and what you're seeing, it's a holographic expression of reality. And the only way for you to infuse that, if you tune in and constantly stay with that. So the portals that you're shifting is the portals that you're creating. And that is for everybody, not only Joseph. Makes sense to everybody?
Yeah, Mark has a question now, and we're backing up a bit. These questions are starting to back up. So Mark's question is his work on new physics and spreading awareness on this topic and merging science and spirituality on the path
You
of
are
his
behind,
purpose?
Mark. You're a bit behind. You have to do a bit more, and you know what we talk about. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted, but I needed to interject what they were saying.
Yeah, they knew the rest of his question. That was pretty much it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Okay, so
Mark, you can do much more.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You can always contact me. Okay, Mark?
Okay, thank you, Marina. That's what Liz was just saying.
Yeah. Just let me know if there's anything more of the your stuff, and I can talk to you separately.
Okay, thank you.
Anytime.
okay, Marina. Rachel says, Marina, I feel completely heartbroken regarding this Pizzagate story. I'm not sure what that is. I haven't heard of Pizzagate. I am meditating using Popo Ono to erase the data. I'm not sure, and it's taking a while. Is there anything else I can do to help these children?
I am not sure what the question is about.
I'm not either. I would have to Google that. I'm not even sure how to pronounce the way she wrote.
Yeah, I'm confused. I can't get a reading on that.
Okay, so maybe Rachel, if you're still there, maybe you can retype that, please, or turn your microphone on, which to everybody, if you guys could turn your microphones on once we get to your question, that would help out a lot also.
Can you hear me?
Rachel, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can I
Yes.
see you, please?
I don't have a visual, sorry.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so in the news there is these stories, horror stories about the Pizzagate with the children, how they were being abused. And I'm trying my best to erase the data, get it off my mind using the Ho'oponopono, the Hawaiian meditation.
Way you can do that is to accept that this reality somewhere existed and to understand that every single of these children gave a permission to go through these structures because humanity is being abused through centuries. Is nothing new about the pedophilia is being going through centuries.
Okay. My understanding is that a lot of the children that are incarnating now are higher dimensional beings to help raise the vibration. So
the awareness of it. Body of the population was completely asleep and completely clueless what was happening. They came here to make an awareness to basically wake everybody up.
okay, so I should just keep on doing the cleaning, my meditation, and
Except that this is part of the ascension process. As they always say, of the dimensional, the 11 and the 9 dimension, they always said that you're going to see escalation. Escalation is in aspects of stuff like this. Even if it sounds really horrific, understand that this is part of the process of the cleansing because you need to know what really was happening in order to move forward, to make a new structures, to make a new beginning. Otherwise, you literally like a mouse rat that somebody was doing experiments on us all these centuries and we were clueless what they were doing to us. It's necessary to come out. Don't go through the negative, you go through understanding in the positive structure to understand that every single person gave an agreement and these souls are very, very evolved souls to do that.
Marina,
Appreciation to everybody that is going through that.
Marina and Rachel, I'm getting, when I Google Pizzagate, all I'm getting is that it was a fake news story, which is going around. Unfortunately, it is going around a lot nowadays, all these fake news stories. I don't know why these people are doing that, but they're very negative beings.
Cover up. It's a cover up. It's a cover up of something that is existing and is existing in most elite families.
Okay, so the fact that they said it's a fake news story is a cover up of the real story.
This is a dark places. This is sacred societies and abuse and worshiping different idols, and it's even projected in the news of elite, for example, moguls of the media, music industry and all that. It's all there. It's not necessary to tune in into these structures anymore. We know who they are. You don't have to be a part of it, but understand that the escalation is exactly in these parts because you have to, in order to move on, you have to see what's really happening. Otherwise, you're blindfolded and you're going through the whole thing with.
Yeah, and it just doesn't really matter. They've made us for years and years, hundreds of years, they've made us feel like a lot of this stuff is so very important, and people might think I'm crazy for saying that, but that's where we are in today's society. But
important to know what is happening, but you giving off, for example, sadness all the time and worry about it, this is exactly what is the sometimes could be the initiation of you receiving more of these realities because you're infusing it. Once you know what it is, you can it and send it to some other people to be aware. But again, as they were teaching us, pull out and observe. Don't become part of the reality.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes to, do the love and detachment, but I'm trying my best, and that's why I always go back to the meditation. But it's
stay in that momentum by projecting that every single person will receive what they need to receive, by knowing that all that is going to come out. In the end, you got to understand what they told me. In the end, humanity